Hi everyone, welcome to this Excel tutorial for exercises 4, 5, and 6, simple formulas and charts. Let's get started. We see that we're given a description for these exercises. Hawaii is the state in the United States with the most rainfall. This is an overview of average rainfall during a year. So we're given this data here, which is 12 months of average rainfall in the state of Hawaii. Next, we're asked to do a few things based on this average rainfall. In exercise 4, we're asked to find the following numbers using formulas in Excel. Total rainfall, average rainfall during a month, lowest monthly rainfall, and highest monthly rainfall. Well, let's do this in two separate ways. First, we'll use auto-sum functions, and then we'll start learning how to type in functions ourselves. So let's fill in these blue cells. Total rainfall during a normal year. What we're going to need to do here is sum all these cells. So let's go in this cell, go over to the top right-hand corner. Under auto-sum, we're going to choose sum. Then we're going to use the white plus sign to highlight the cells that we want Excel to sum. Once we've completed that, all we need to do is hit enter. And we see that the total rainfall was 17.13 inches. Next, we're going to get the average rainfall during a month. Once again, we're going to go to the same group, choose average, and then using the white plus sign, highlight the cells we want to average. Once we've completed that, we hit enter and we see that the average rainfall per month was 1.43 inches. Next, we're asked to get the lowest monthly rainfall, the minimum. Once again, in the auto-sum group, there's a function called minimum. We click it, we highlight the cells in the same exact way, then we hit enter. We see the minimum was 0.28 inches. Next, the maximum. Same group, max, highlight the same cells, hit enter. Quick and easy. Now let's try to do the same thing by typing formulas in ourselves. Let's keep what we've done here and type the rest of these results in the cells directly to the right. Let's get the total. This time we're going to type the function. Equals, all formulas and functions start with the equal sign. Then we type, lowercase or uppercase does not matter. Sum, we open the parentheses. In fact, you can see as we start to type a function, we get some suggestions. Based on the spelling, Excel suggests functions that sound similar. You can double-click one of these, in which case Excel will fill out the rest for you and you simply have to highlight the range, or we can backspace and type it ourselves ignoring the suggestions. Equals sum, open parentheses, highlight the cells, close the parentheses, hit enter, and we get the same result as with auto-sum. Next, we're going to get the average. Equals average, open parentheses, highlight the cells, close parentheses, enter. Same result as before. Next, minimum. Equals, as I start typing, I see just by typing the letter M after the equal sign, I get a bunch of suggestions from Excel. If I know what I want, I can continue to type it and ignore this. But if I forget exactly how the function was spelt, I can find it in this list and double click. And then I highlight the cells, close the parentheses, hit enter. I get the same result as before. And finally, maximum. Equals max, open parentheses, highlight, close parentheses, hit enter, and we see that we can write functions both by using the auto sum and by typing them in directly into Excel. Next, we'll move on to exercise 5. Exercise 5 asks us to show the amount of rain in a line chart and a clustered column chart. So we still have to look at the same data. So let's build these charts. First thing we'll do is we'll highlight the data, taking both the names and the numbers. Next, we'll go to the top and we'll choose the Insert ribbon. Once we're in the Insert ribbon, we'll go over to the Charts group, and we have a lot of choices. Let's explore a couple ways of doing this. We can go to this group, which looks like a bunch of lines. In fact, it's called Line Charts. Click on this, and we can choose one of these line charts. Click on the first one, and already we have something that looks really cool. We can resize this. We can change the chart title by clicking on chart title and saying any name that we would like. We can change the design and the colors as well. But before we do this, let me go ahead and delete this chart and show you another way of getting this chart. To delete the chart, I click on the chart area and I hit the delete button. With the data highlighted again, I'm going to go over to the Insert. This time I'm going to choose Recommended Charts. Excel sometimes makes some good recommendations. As you can see, one of their first recommendations is the chart that we just made. Let's click OK. And we're back to where we were before. Let's resize, take advantage of the width, move the chart. We can change the chart title or leave it the same, but let's leave it the same, and this time let's change some of the design aspects. So when you click on a chart, you get chart tools at the top. This only appears when a chart is activated. Click on under design. We can go over to chart layout and we can choose a layout by hovering over the choices. Once we've found one that we like, we can click on it and select it. Next, we can change the color scheme by choosing from the presets. Then some chart styles are loaded. You can choose one of these chart styles that appeals to you. I like this one. Okay, great. This looks like a great line chart. Let's move on to the clustered column chart. I click off of the chart. Once again, let me highlight the data, including the names. Go over to Insert. This time, right above the lines, I see column charts. I click on this, and the first choice is a clustered 2D column chart. If I choose this, I can begin to build a column chart. Another way to do this is not to click on it. Go over to Recommended Charts and see what Excel recommends. In fact, the line chart we already created, Excel also recommends this clustered column chart. We can choose it from here as well. Let's click OK. Let's resize this chart to meet the same dimensions as the line chart. In much the same way, we can change the title and also the design aspects of this clustered column chart. So let's do that. With the chart activated, we go to the design, choose a chart layout, then change the colors as we wish, and then choose an interesting chart style. I like these two choices. That's great. We've made a line chart and a clustered column chart using Hawaii's rain data. With exercises 4 and 5 complete, let's move on to exercise 6. Exercise 6 deals with a different data set, so let's learn about it. This is an overview of 5 school tests. The scores are between 1 and 10. where 10 is the best. And we have 8 students here that took the tests. Here are their test scores. This row represents Barbara's 5 test scores. This row represents Jennifer's 5 test scores. Over here, we see that we're going to be eventually interested in averaging the test scores for each of the students. In these cells in the bottom, we're going to be interested in averaging the test scores regardless of which student. But let's do this through the questions. Question A first asks us to sort the names of the students in alphabetical order. Okay, to do this, we're going to use the sort function in Excel. So, first thing you might be tempted to do is to highlight the names and then sort them. If you do this, what's going to end up happening is that these names are going to be in alphabetical order, but the test scores are not going to move along with the names. You definitely want the test scores to move along with the names of the students. So we need to remedy this problem. To do this, we highlight the names and the test scores together. By doing this, we assure that Barbara's test scores will move along with Barbara when she gets sorted alphabetically. Let's do this. In the top right-hand corner, close to where AutoSum was, there is sort and filter. We're going to make much use of this in this exercise. Clicking on the arrow, we get a few choices. Sort A to Z, sort Z to A, and then custom sort. Since we want to sort them alphabetically, let's choose sort A to Z. And if you were paying attention, all the names got sorted. W obviously comes last, and B comes first. But also the test scores moved along with each of the students. Great. Question B. Next we're asked to sort the table after the best results in test 5. So basically what we're asked to do here is to get the top scores for test 5 at the top and the lowest scores at the bottom. Of course, again, when we sort, we want to make sure that all of the rest of the table moves along with the sorting. To do this, first thing we're going to do is use filters. So we're going to highlight the headers for the rows, and then we're going to go to the same group, sort and filter, and this time choose filter. As you can see, when we choose filter, we get little drop-down arrows to the right of each cell. Let's click on one of them and see what this does. Oh, we have a few options here. We can sort largest to smallest, smallest to largest. We can also select or deselect any of the test scores by clicking on the check marks and then clicking OK. First, let's do what we intended to do, which was to sort the table after the best results in test 5. Here's test 5. Clicking on the filter for test 5, we're going to say largest to smallest, so the top test scores come to the top, and all the rest of the rows in the table should move around as well. In fact, they do. Barbara happened to have the top test score tied with Jennifer, and they're both at the top. William, who was originally in the bottom row after we sorted from exercise A, moved up one row because Linda actually had a worse test score than him. Okay, great. Before I move on, I also want to show you some other things you could do with the filters. Let's click on the filter for name. We can sort again, but we don't want to do that. But what I want to show you is how you can hide and show different names. So let's say we don't want to see Barbara and James. We can uncheck their names and click OK. And Barbara and James disappear from the list of names. But don't worry, they're still there. They're just being temporarily hidden from view. To see them once again, we click on the filter for names, and then we can check Barbara and James again. Click OK, and they reappear exactly as they were before. So filters are a powerful way of viewing tables. Question C. calculate the average scores per student and per test in the blue cells. So let's do the average scores per student first. So here's going to be Barbara's average score equals average. This time we're typing the formula in and not using AutoSum. You can do it whichever way you like, but it's a good practice to start typing the formulas in. Then we're going to highlight using the white plus sign Barbara's 5 test scores. Then close the parentheses and hit enter. Barbara's average score was 6.8. I don't need to repeat this for the rest of the students. Since I did this correctly first time, I can grab the bottom right hand corner, the black plus sign, and drag this formula down till I reach Linda. Let go and I get all the average test scores. Now let's get the average test scores for tests 1 through 5. Going under test 1, once again I'm going to do the average function. Equals average. Open parentheses. I'm going to highlight all the scores for test 1. Then I'm going to close parentheses, hit enter. Now I don't have to repeat this for test 2, 3, 4, and 5. Since I did this correctly for test 1, I grab the bottom right hand corner and I autofill the formula this time to the right. Clicking and holding, I drag until I reach test 5, then I release and I have all the average test scores. Perfect. Question C complete. Question D. What's the lowest average test score? Well, here are the test scores. Let's average them. Which one is the lowest? We see that 3.6 is the lowest test score. Equals min, we have learned, will give us the minimum number in a range. So we type in equals min, open parentheses, then we highlight the range, then close parentheses, hit enter. We see the lowest average among the 8 students was 3.6. Question E, what's the highest average? Equals max. We've seen this function before as well. Open parentheses, highlight the average scores, close parentheses, hit enter. The highest average score was 8.6, and that was Jennifer. Question F, find the median of the results. The median, if you don't know, is the number in the middle of a sorted list. So let's get the median of all the test scores, not the averages. This is going to be a hard task to do manually. Hopefully Excel has a function for this. So let's go and search for that function. And let's pretend I don't know the name of that function. Well, first let me click in the cell where I want to place the function. Then I'm going to go up to the AutoSum group. This time I'm not going to choose one of these functions. I'm going to go to More Functions. Under More Functions, I get this Search for a Function box. Here, I'm going to type, to the best of my ability, the name of the function that I want to use. Since I want the median, I'm going to type median, and then I'm going to click Go. Excel searches through all its functions and finds functions appropriate. In fact, there is a function called median. So we'll use this function. By clicking OK, we get a dialog box that's going to walk us through how this function works. This includes a short description of what this function does and how to use it, so you can read that at your leisure. Basically, all you need to input for the median function are the cells that you want to get the median for. So here we would highlight all the test scores, excluding the averages, then click OK. Excel calculates the median of all these test scores to be 7. We could have also now typed the function in, because now we learned the name is just median. So in the cell directly to the right, let's type equals median, and if we are lazy, we see that Excel already suggests a function named median. We can double click it here. And then we need to highlight the cells we want the median for, close the parentheses, hit enter, and we get the same result as the way we did it before. Question G. Find the mode of the results. Remember that the mode is the number which occurs the most often. If I don't know the name of the function, once again I'm going to click in the cell where I want to place the function, then go to the AutoSum group. Choose More Functions. I'm going to search for the mode. Click Go. In fact, there's a couple functions that calculate the mode. We'll use the simplest one, which is just called mode. Click OK. Again, we get the dialog box which helps us to use this function with a short description. Basically what we need to do is give it the cells we want to get the mode for. So again, we're going to highlight the test scores, excluding the averages. Click OK, and we get the mode to be 8. Now that we know the function for mode is called mode, let's do it manually ourselves by typing it in. Equals mode. Open parentheses, highlight, close parentheses, enter. And you see we get the same exact results. Great. Finally, question F. Show the results per student in a clustered column chart. We've made a clustered column chart before. This time we're going to make it for a lot more data. So let's highlight the data first, just as we did for the Hawaii rainfall. Make sure not to include the averages. We're going to go to Insert, then go over to the Chart group, click Insert Column Chart, choose the first of that group, and then we have something nice to start with. Let's make this a little wider. So you see we have all 8 students' names along the horizontal axis, the test scores on the y-axis. We should change this chart title, of course. Let's call this Test Scores for Students. Hit Enter, so we have an appropriate title. We also have a legend. Let's just change some of the design aspects of this chart. By clicking on the chart, we get the chart tools. Under design, let's choose a layout that's appropriate. This one's nice because it gives us all the individual test scores, and instead of showing the y-axis, we have the test scores for each of the students. Let's change the color. That seems nice. And then finally, let's choose a chart style that looks cool. Okay, great. This looks good. We got a clustered column chart that packs a lot of information and is very visually appealing. Okay, great. We successfully completed the exercises together. Your Excel skills are improving nicely. Now keep up the good work by doing more exercises and practicing. Till next time, goodbye.